Think we need to rewind that, do we? So, call the meeting to order. A roll call, Kevin?
Councilmember Larson,
Yes.
Councilmember White,
Present.
Councilmember Dan Hahn,
Present.
Council President Cox.
Present.
Thank you. Councilmember Stubble.
Here.
Councilmember Josh Hahn
Yes, sir.
and Mayor Richards.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. All right. First of all, we're moving to the approval of the agenda. Missy?
Mayor, I'd like to suggest the following two amendments in 8 new business to strike G and I as they are not ready for consideration yet.
Second that.
Any other questions? Call for the question, Councilman Jehan?
Yes.
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 Yes, okay. Moving on, communication from the floor. If we have any communication.
Mr. Mayor, you have to approve the amended agenda.
Oh, amended agenda. Thank you, Adam. I'm ready to move. Okay, I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilman White, second by Councilman Larson. Gonna call for the question. Councilman Larson?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, we can move to communication from the floor. If we have any communication from the floor, I'm supposed to read this. Please approach the microphone, state your full name for the record, and your comments will be limited to 3 minutes and it'll be recorded. Again.
Is that on? Okay, hi, Karen Wetzel. Just wanted to discuss a couple of things that it looks like the city might be approving tonight. One of them being almost $2 million, somewhere I saw it, for water meter replacement project. Also some other things, I guess, for water. Is this coming out of is it the half cent or the 1 cent?
This is, Lance, you want to answer that one? Oh, we can't answer.
Oh, well, I was basically what I wanted to say was if this is going to be coming out of that money, then I would think it would be better to wait until after the general election to find out if you actually get the money than signing it before it goes to a vote. And that was basically it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. You want to turn the little man button on, please? Turn that little, push the little button there with the guy. There you go.
How about that?
There you go.
Dr. Charles Woolwine. I'm here on behalf of all of Lander's trusting, innocent, unsuspecting, and helpless little children. I'm here for the purpose of asking the city's liaison to the Chamber of Commerce to help me deliver a message to our chamber. So far, for all of the letters, registered mail, and emails I've sent to the chamber, I have not received so much as a single acknowledgement of receipt, much less an actual intelligent response. In fact, I've been told by more than one city official that people have actually been instructed not to communicate with Woolwine. How about that? Why am I here? What do I want? Well, I know that we are never going to rid Lander of alcohol. I realize that. Alcohol is a very powerful drug. Alcohol is extremely addictive. People love it. Some people literally cannot live without it. I do not like this drug, but I understand its grip on our city. In addition, it is a very lucrative drug. In Wyoming, if you want to make a lot of money quickly, simply put up an alcohol for sale sign. Although alcohol is arguably the most destructive drug in the world, a vast majority of Wyomingites love it, and it is never going away. It does not matter how many people alcohol damages or kills. Cirrhosis of the liver, fetal alcohol syndrome, vehicular-related deaths, depression, suicide, alcohol-related child abuse, spouse abuse, rape, murder, etc. It does not matter how much damage alcohol does. It is Wyoming's drug of choice, and tragically, it is here to stay. In addition, the Drink Responsibly campaign has failed miserably. So what do I want? Well, before you is a copy of a statement from the Chamber's Alcohol Festival Brewfest website. See attachment 1. As you can see, it clearly states the best little brew fest in the West, all ages, but no pets. Brewfest is open to all ages, so bring your kids. This has to be one of the most disgusting, irresponsible phrases I have ever read. What kind of a person would encourage parents to bring precious, innocent, and unsuspecting children to an alcohol festival? So I'm asking the city's liaison to the chamber, as a minimum, at the least, to ask the chamber to remove this, in my opinion, irresponsible statement from their alcohol festival website. To be honest, I can't believe I'm even here having to make such a request. This highly inappropriate invitation encouraging parents to bring their innocent children to an alcohol festival should never have been posted in the first place.
The 3 minutes are up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How's it going tonight, folks? So
Can you state your name first?
Nate Mariotti is my name. So what I have is more of a question than anything. So the water treatment center up there, up on the hill where we haul water, whatever you want to call that. So my question is, since 2014 to today, I've watched it go from $1.25 for 340 gallons to $5.47 for same 340 gallons. So is that price increase to cover the public works director and the assistant mayor and the assistant public works director's wages? Or is that to do with something else? Why are we, my question is everywhere in Fremont County is $10 per 1,000 gallons. We're $20 per 1,000 gallons. And I just want to know why that is.
That's your question?
Yes, it is.
Just leave your name and address, back your phone number in the back there.
Well, I've left my phone and number and name with Lance and I don't seem to get a call back. So, and then my next comment will be, so we have an assistant mayor that makes $96,000 a year. We have an assistant public works director that makes $91,000 a year. And public works director himself makes $125,000 a year. Can't get a phone call back, can't get anybody to respond to you. Why do we have these positions? I mean, if we got rid of a couple of those positions and save that $200,000 a year, we could take that money and build it to a rec center for the kids here in town, which is something I would like to see the city do at some point, you know, with our half-cent sales tax money, or, you know, maybe some of the tax money that us citizens who live paycheck to paycheck pay into. So I just want you guys to think on that. And that's the end for me.
Thank you. Is there more public comment? All right, since there is none, we'll move on. Mayor and council updates. Councilman Larson. I can move somewhere else.
Okay. I've had a couple people come to me here just within the last month or so. Says, you know, remember back at the first of the year when you proposed that fishing derby up there at Sinks Canyon, and they would certainly like to see something happen there, and I would too, you know. And I know that we were talking there at one time that we had to see if the MOU would allow something like that. And if we could find some more information on that, I'd be happy to take the lead on, working with the Game and Fish or whoever else. And I just think it would be a fun activity. We can always find somewhere for the funds to go to. That's never an issue. And my other thing is just to report on the fly-in that we had over the 24th. And it was a great success. We had, I was talking with Ryan there. We had like 39 cars there for the car show. And the ramp was clear full of airplanes up there. We had the 3 Warbirds come in from Rexburg, a P-51 Mustang, which is the premier fighter plane of World War II, and it was just super cool to see that and have it flying around. They had an L-19 Bird Dog, which was the spotter plane for the Vietnam era. And what was the third one? I'm drawing a blank right now. Anyway, we had lots of people up there. It wasn't as well attended, I think, because of the weather wasn't ideal, but still there was a good share of, it was busy there all day long, and so I think that it was well attended. It was a success, and thanks for the help in putting that on. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman White.
Thank you, Mayor. Planning Commission is hosting an open house this Thursday for any of the public who would like to learn more about the proposed changes to the housing code, which is terrific that they're making that available. Senior Center met this morning. Good things are happening there. Everything from the word's getting out that they've got a charging station and they're getting more and more folks using it, which does actually net them a little bit of money as well. They're psyched about that. In general, they're getting more and more folks coming in, whether it's to borrow equipment from the medical supply closet or get puzzles or join them for meals. And they're very excited about that. And speaking of meals, they had one of their highest months since I've been liaison to them in August. They served just over 4,000 meals, both in person and the home delivery and also the waiver meals. And they're continuing to offer more stuff. They've got a dance coming up on the 20th at 7 p.m. live music. It's free. Donations are certainly welcome, but they're pretty psyched about that. And they're also very, very grateful to the Lander community for their support in the Challenge for Charities. It's the first time they did that, and they got a lot of financial support, which helps them with their meals. That'll be the primary focus for that. And lastly, they could use another kitchen worker. They're having some staff changes, so anyone who likes to do some cooking and baking, there's a potential job opening there. And although I didn't make it to the fly-in, I did make it on that same weekend to the festivities that Wyoming Wildlife Federation and some partners were having in City Park. And boy, that was another big event. Folks were really psyched. I also talked to a number of the women who were in the women's hunting class that they were offering, and they were all over the moon with that opportunity. So pretty neat to see that, just all the different things that Lander is offering. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Hahn.
Thank you. Also, I was going to echo John's comment on the air show. It was really good. It's always good to see those warbirds. And that Army one looked like it wanted to take off there a couple of times with the wind. But, and I'd like to thank the city for the patches that they've done around town. That 9th Street, it was really bad. That big old bump there, but thank you.
Councilwoman Cox.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of things. One of them is going to be addressed later in the agenda, and that was the contract with the Fremont County School District #1. I'd like to see that we have that at least in our packet tonight to discuss, and I thought there was some good wording involved in that. So that a lot of work went into that, so thank you for those who participated. I think the other thing is Lita. So there's some changeover. There's some folks that are leaving our community. We've added a couple additional board members, and that seems to be going well. But there is going to be a little bit of lag and some change in mission and sort of where we're headed with Lita. The next thing is the Lander Golf Course. I don't know if any other council members have had an opportunity to be up at the golf course, but for quite some time, the golf course was struggling, the grounds specifically, and it has changed. I would say in the last 2 months, it has really improved the conditions. So my hat goes off to the board members there, and I'm sure a majority of it is volunteer work to get those grounds and to get that course to be reputable, and it's looking really good. So again, just some hard work. I know I'm out of town, but I do enjoy the idea that I'm available via email and phone and that people are able to reach us. So we appreciate technology. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Stubble.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I may, before my updates, Councilwoman White, I might have misheard you, but I think you mentioned that the open house for planning and zoning is this Thursday. I believe it's next. Yep. So October. No, we're gonna make a mistake. Next week, September 19th is the open house here in the City Council chambers at 6:30 for that planning and zoning. So that's gonna be informative. Hope lots of folks come. Tell your friends and neighbors to join us, learn more at that. Mayor, for my liaison positions, the tree board has its first meeting scheduled for this Thursday. So very exciting to get that crew of people together. Scheduling is always hard in the summer, so it's nice to have that date established. And I think they'll take seriously that their first charge is to take a look at the ordinances and the bylaws for themselves. I'll report back after the meeting. PACD meets tomorrow, nothing to report there. And at the August Energy and Environment Task Force meeting, we had some detailed conversations about the Rocky Mountain Power WattSmart program. There had been a walkthrough with a staffer from that program who'd come to Lander, and it seems like there's plentiful of opportunities for us to take advantage of what they offer through WattSmart. So I'll bring some more details back as we land on the specifics, but that was exciting. And Regine, thanks again for connecting Ronnie from WattSmart with the E&E task force. There had been some communication obstacles with Rocky Mountain Power that Ronnie has helped ease. And so I think it's nice to have a really productive relationship and clear communication there. And the E&E group is also taking seriously, putting their thinking hats on around the utility bills at the community center. I know the council at our last meeting had some discussion about the cost of running a community center and of course, clear benefits and the service we provide through it. But perhaps there's ways where we can reduce those utility bills through some energy efficiency projects and some grants to help ease the cost distinction there. So Mayor, that's what I have.
Oh, thank you. Councilman Jehan.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations to the JV and varsity Lander Tigers football teams. They won their first games and they're really exciting to watch. I would like to see more people go. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. It's my turn, I guess. Just let you know, I know I missed a couple meetings, family issues that were happening. So it looks like Melinda handled it real well without me. So you guys did a good job. So on that note, I'm going to move on to staff updates. Chief?
Just a few things. In the next meeting or two, you're going to see the MOU back from the school related to the SROs. As far as I know, it went in front of their board, their last meeting to approve. So I just need to get that copy back so then it can go back in front of you guys. Nothing's changed on it except for the dollar figure changed with the raises in July. All the other stuff, there was a couple little tweaks, but they're minor. I'll bring those up when it comes up. The new police cars are in, 4 new ones. They came in about 3 weeks ago. They're out at the outfitters right now. So it's estimated about a month. In about a month, we'll have all 4 back and out on the road. So you'll see some new cars here. Besides that, just saying extremely busy in the last couple of months. So the guys are doing an awesome job. So feel any questions if you have it.
Questions? Nope, you're clear. Lance?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple project updates. The tank is accepted at this point in time, and so we were inside that. And they'll start filling that with chlorine soon and disinfecting it, and then do the leak down test. And that project is moving right along. So expect pumps and skids to be moving and on to the next thing. And then Hunter will be in the work session is what we're planning on doing to talk community center landscaping. So he's going to present different levels of service and different alternatives. We said we'd come back this meeting and we're going to actually just have a work session on it, be able to openly talk about it and figure out a direction to move there. Third thing is that tonight we have the meter project on, and some people were having some concerns with these meters communicate a few times a day over cell phone. And so they have a term smart that they're having issues with. And so got asked what alternatives would be if somebody doesn't want to have one of these in their house. And, you know, we will install these in meter pits as well outside the home. So if people want to put in a meter pit, they don't want anything in their house, you know, that's an alternative for them. So if you guys get asked out in the public, you know, if they don't want to have it, then that's just fine to put it behind the sidewalk by the curb stop. So happy to take any questions.
Questions? Councilman White?
Thank you, Mayor. So thanks for that, Lance. So if someone wants a meter pit, would that be done, I'm assuming at the landowner's expense, not at the city's expense?
Correct. You know,
Okay.
meter pits are not something that they would need, you know, and the way that we're looking at the project, these don't have as much impact as a cell phone and radio wave. So we've got some things out there as far as where to follow on our website on what these devices do, and then comparatively what their frequencies do if people want to find out more information. But, you know, they're not harmful in our eyes, but, you know, other people have different opinions and perspectives. So give them alternatives if they're concerned. Most of the time they're calling us on a cell phone, which is giving off way more frequency than, you know, the little meter would coming to life and giving a signal a few times. Those batteries last 20 years, so they don't communicate very often.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and you said they're just a couple of times a day.
Yeah, they're
So-
just reporting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any guesstimate about how long that transmission?
Oh, I
will
can get you more
last?
information on it. So we'll have actual specs, but let me
Okay.
send it to you and you can find more information on how much it transmits and during any given day.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Councilman Stubble?
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Lance. It's great to hear about that alternative meter pit. Can you elaborate on what that would look like? I'm having trouble picturing. It's out of the curb, and tell me about that a bit more.
So the service line comes from our main, which we own, and the service line's owned by the customer from the main to the house. Most of the time, there's a curb stop valve, a shut-off valve behind your sidewalk if you're looking for it. And behind that valve, you can put a pit. It's basically an 18-inch cylinder, and it's got a metal top or a plastic top on it that goes behind that, and it would relocate all the reading outside. And so then the basement meter could be, you know, that could be eliminated, and they can tie their plumbing in directly in the house or in a crawl space or however they want to do it beyond it. But it puts everything just on the customer side behind the sidewalk, and we can read just fine with those too.
Okay, that's great. So small excavation. And then,
Yeah, and those have coil pits, and so the meter drops all the way down to the bottom to the ground so that they don't freeze. They have insulation above them, and then if you ever need to service them, you can hook them and lift them up and work on them, put them back down.
and for our purposes, we need to see 100% adoption of the smart meters, and we can't have a combination of the existing meters and these ones.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mayor.
Councilman Vaughn?
What's
Sure.
what's the point of these? Just better readings, more accurate, or what's
Yeah,
the?
so your meters last 20 years, and we're at 20 years since the last install. The other thing that this does is it differentiates agriculture usage and other usage from normal usage, which can be very beneficial with your water rights. So we have halved all of our water rights to meet municipal usage when we're in fact watering a lot of grass. So we put about 5 million gallons a day down in the summer, 1 million gallons a day during the winter months. So you're doing 4 million of ag. So there's a benefit in water rights as well as being able to get better accuracy. And then the customer gets more feedback. So it'll pick up leak detection, problems. If you want to sign up and get on an account at this point, you can do that. Get information on what's going on in your house and notified if you've got problems. And then we can read without sending somebody out. So if you've got final reads or you're coming in here, you don't have to send somebody out to go do it. If you sold your house, you know, we can just pull up the last read and there's final reads available or right at the water clerk's fingertips.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions? Councilman Larson?
Yeah, Lance, if you used to put one of these meter pits out there on your own, so you're looking at what, 5.5, 6 foot deep that you've got to dig that hole in order to put that meter pit in. So, I mean, it's not like they just go out there and presto chango, they throw that meter pit in. It's an involved process.
It is, it goes on the service line.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's usually 5 feet, 6 feet deep, depending
Yeah.
on where you are in town. So, yes.
Just so people are aware, you know, that it's not just a quick and easy 5-minute project.
Yeah, and they would want to get started on that now, you know, so that
Yeah.
when we contact them, that we can install that in that pit.
Right.
And also, Regine reminded me, this money is coming from that $44 million worth of, you know, grant and project money that we received not too long ago. So this isn't, and then, you know, being paid for by enterprise some, but there's loan forgiveness with that. That's the slip board money that we got that's helping do all the streets in town, but this is not directly coming just straight from ratepayers.
All right, thank you. Regine?
Thank you. I don't have anything for myself, but Shari asked me to report that the ARPA grant that was awarded to the Housing Authority for the Table Mountain project, we put in a reimbursement for that for over $1 million. She has that money in the bank now. So the city's not carrying any balance on the designer plans of the project anymore. And I would answer any questions.
Any questions? Councilman Hall?
Have we discontinued that project?
So I will wait till the board comes and reports to you. But we did run into a lot of barriers over the last 2 months when we were doing that legal review. And so the board has a meeting next week. We will go ahead and get a report together and then I'll have them give that to you either at a work session or a future meeting.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
you bet.
Anybody else? Attorney Phillips?
I don't have anything tonight unless somebody has questions for me.
Questions for Adam? Deputy Clerk, Kevin?
Yep, all right, thanks. First, want to draw your attention to one of the handouts I gave you. It's the Lander City Council meeting attendance form. That is a Google form. Rochelle has asked that each of you fill that out. You can just go right online and it'll keep track. But this is just going to be a much more detailed way for us to present to the auditors, you know, what meetings you really attend. If you have any trouble or questions with the form, you know, at this point, get a hold of Rochelle. But I'll be collecting these. She'll be collecting these later this month. Any questions on this form? It's really simple.
John?
So is this, you want this filled out or do you want us to go on Google? And
Yep, online.
Okay.
Yep, please go online. Yeah, not the paper form.
Okay.
This is what the online version looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real quick. I guess the biggest thing that you should probably be aware of is, I guess it's the fourth section right at the bottom of the fourth page, or the first page. So that's where you would record any of your extracurricular meetings that are not a work session or a regular council meeting. Clear enough on that? Okay. I do have another note for you guys. I gave you the invoice register for bills and claims. So there is an amendment on that based on what you originally got. And that can be found on the first page, almost at the bottom. It's called Blue 360 Media for 93.95. The original did not have the voided check. I had to void that check. So that's the only change in bills and claims. And the total on the last page matches up, so should be good there. Any questions on that?
Question?
For that amendment? Okay. The last item I have is Shari wanted to let the council know that there will be a regular meeting on the 24th prior to the work session. It sounds like she has some lift information that I think she wants to vote on. That's all for any updates.
Any questions for Kevin?
Mayor, just a comment.
Go ahead.
May- Kevin, we haven't seen that link for that form sent to us yet, so I don't know if that's, I know Rochelle's on vacation, or not vacation, sorry, she's working away this week. And we have some time for the 18th, but it hasn't been emailed to us yet.
Yep, great. Then I will let her know. I know we did a test run on it, and I think that was successful. So I thought she had sent that out.
Great, I might be the
But-
only one. Did anybody else receive it?
Okay. Okay. Yep. No worries. We'll take care of that.
Nothing else? All right, we'll move on. The consent agenda. Approval of regular city council minute meetings of August 13th, 2024. B, approval of August 27th, 2024 special work session, city council minutes, and approval of bills and claims.
Mayor, if I may,
Go ahead.
we would like the motion to include that it would be the bills and claims as amended.
As amended.
Move to approve
As amended.
as amended.
And get a second.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Larson, second by Councilman Cox to approve the consent agenda as amended. Any other questions, concerns? Call for the question. Jayhan?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, moving into old business. Approval of the second reading of ordinance 2024-7, amending ordinance 2023-3, Title 12, Section 12-3-3, Parks and Rec, potential penalties for park rules violations. Kevin?
Okay, I'm going to read this ordinance down through section 2. This is ordinance 2024-7, amending ordinance 2023-3 and Title 12, Section 12-3-3, Parks and Recreation potential penalties for park rule violations. Whereas Section 12-3-3 of Title 12 provides city park rules specific to each municipal park and potential penalties for violation of said rules. And whereas the mayor and council of the city of Lander find it is in the best interest of the city of Lander to amend ordinance 2023-3 and Title 12, Section 12-3-3 as to the potential penalties for violation of park rules. Now therefore be it ordained by the mayor and the council of the city of Lander in the state of Wyoming as follows. Section 1, Amendment 12-3-3, Parks and Recreation of the City of Lander Municipal Code is hereby amended as follows. 12-3-3, Parks and Recreation, A, individual city park rules. All parks and recreational facilities within the city maintained by the city for the public shall have park rules for each park location as created by resolution and approved and adopted by the governing body. Each park location shall have posted signage listing park rules pertaining to each location. Section 2. Any person who violates this ordinance and or the park rules as set forth in resolutions 1321, 1322, 1323, 1327, and 1328, as they may be amended, located at www.landerwyoming.org/parks sites, and as posted on each park restroom is a conviction of a first offense guilty of a misdemeanor punishable by a maximum fine of $75. B, a second or subsequent offense is punishable by increased fines not to exceed a maximum of $750. Forfeitable bonds will be as outlined in the Lander Municipal Court bond schedule as adopted from time to time. So this passed on first reading, August 13th, 2024. The only change that is occurred is the reference to imprisonment, and that's the only thing that has changed.
Questions? None. We discussed it, we talked about it, so can I get a motion to approve the second reading? 2024-7.
Mayor, I move approval of the second reading of ordinance 2024-7.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Stubble, second by Councilman White. Any other discussion? I'll call for the question. Councilman Larson.
Yes.
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 Councilwoman Cox, you're on mute.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, moving on to new business. First on new business is approved resolution 1340 exempting 236 South Second Street building in the courtyard for an open container provision of the city ordinance 2-2-12. And if I'm right, that's the new outdoor building over here on Second Street.
Mayor, the Wyoming Outdoor Council.
Right. So, and they got to keep it within the courtyard as I read it, so. But they still need to have an open container permit. So can I get a motion?
Mayor, I'll move approval of resolution 1340 exempting 236 South Second Street, the building and courtyard from the open container provisions of city ordinance 2-2-12.
Any second?
I'll second.
That motion by Councilman Stubble, second by Councilman White. Any other discussion? Call
Mayor,
for-
I'll just mention that this
Oh, go
is
ahead.
an event that's open to the public celebrating the long legacy of the Outdoor Council in Lander, but also the remarkable new building that they have in the community space for that all of us could use. So if you have clubs or activities, you can contact them to rent that space out. So hopefully many of us join them in celebrating this pretty remarkable event and progress for their long history.
Anybody else? None? I'm gonna call for the question. Councilman Jehan?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, moving on to item B. Approve resolution 1339 authorizing the funding amendment to the Wyoming Water Development Commission to the Lander Wells and Transmission Line 2022 project. I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay, I get a second. A motion by Councilman Hahn, second by Councilman Larson. Discussion? Lance, do you have any?
Yes, Mayor and Council, this was an application that we put in for increased funding. If you remember on the Wells project that we were directed to go back through. Well, we removed the Wells is still on. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. So with this, we were going back through contingency funds. We were only recommended for 50%, plus we had to cover the overage. And so instead of doing that, we put in an application to increase to the bid amount plus the engineering and say that we'd cover a third of that to see if there's potentially more funding coming through water development and we could get approved for that through the omnibus water bill this year. I heard that there's maybe quite a bit of money that got moved from ARPA funds to water development projects. So I'm hoping maybe this could be one of those projects that gets funded. So right now, this is just a resolution. You're not committed to the project, and we would find out what the recommendation is, and I'll report back once we hear what they're thinking on this. So there's meetings to come, but it'd be great to get the resolution sent to see if we could make this work. I know it's more money than we were hoping locally, but trying to reduce that as much as possible, just to the 33% if we can get it done.
Okay, thank you. Questions?
Not so much a question as, thanks for always looking for ways to save Lander residents some money for the projects that we need. Much appreciated.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
thank you. Yeah, I seconded that, Lance. It seems like really smart figuring here. Does the Water Commission meet in September? When will we have the recommendation?
No, I think that's, yeah, it's a few months down the road. I think I'll have to pull that up.
You could just tell me to Google that myself.
Okay.
I thought you had it there.
No, I didn't have it. Well, I mean.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry about that.
Anybody else? Call for the question. Councilman Larson.
Yes.
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 Yes, okay. Moving on to item C. Approval and authorize the mayor to sign the Lander Municipality hangar lease agreement between the city of Lander and Stephanie Heff for the space of 441. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Can I get a second? You're doing it.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Larson, second by Councilman Hahn. To approve, authorize the mayor to sign the hangar lease agreement. Any questions?
Mayor, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Councilman Hahn, I didn't see your light.
You're fine.
I did notice that it was highlighted that it said 15 years. Is that consistent with previous hangar agreements? I did not go back and look or to verify, so I was curious if somebody else knew.
I got Chris in the back room shaking his head, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? If there's no call for the question, Councilman Jay Hahn.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, moving to item D. Approve and authorize the mayor to sign Lander Municipal Airport hangar lease agreement between the city of Lander and Joel Otto for the space number 407. Same thing. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
A second? Got a second? A motion by Councilman White, second by Councilman Larson. To approve. Questions or discussion? And there is now a call for the question. Councilman Hahn?
Yes.
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 Yes. Item E. Approval and authorize the mayor to sign a 5-year lease agreement between the city of Lander and Fremont County School District Number 1 for recreational use of 5 tracts of real property. Can I get a motion in a second?
Mayor, I will approve or move approval for you to and authorize you to sign the 5-year lease agreement between the city of Lander and Fremont County School District for the recreational use of 5 tracks.
I get a second?
Second.
A motion by Councilman Stubble, second by Councilman White. Discussion?
I do have a comment. Oh, sorry, did I interrupt again?
Go ahead. No, you're fine.
It's hard to see the lights this far away. I just want to draw attention to the item that changed within the contract that discussed the school district opting to and us allowing them to post signage that would reflect no use of drugs or alcohol during a specified period of time. And I thought that was really good language within that contract, and I think keeps all parties happy with accountability and enforcement. Essentially, it's happening during school hours to ensure that we don't have parties or consumption of substances while school is in session. So again, thank you to those who participated in that.
Thank you. Any other comments? call for the question. Councilman Jehan.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, moving on. Item F, award the water meter replacement project to the sole bidder of Marion Farren in the amount of $1,884,178 and authorize the mayor to sign a notice of award agreement between the owner and contract for construction contract stipend price and notice to proceed. Take a motion, a second. I get a second.
Second?
Motion by Councilman Hahn, second by Councilman Larson. And one question, Councilman Hahn.
Now we have just one bidder, right?
That's correct.
How do we validate that the price is not overinflated? It seems like this is happening more and more, and what's scary is that's a lot of money. And who's to say that, since we can't compare it to anything, who's to say that that isn't way out of the ballpark? And I'm not saying that. I'm just, it's concerning to see this happening, because it's a lot of money, and I have no idea if this is kosher or not.
I think that's a great and fair point. With getting so few bids, I ask myself the same thing all the time. What are we willing to pay for something when we only have one person showing up to offer us services? That's why we've rebid so many projects, is trying to, drum up more interest. And, we had an approved equal opportunity on this project. One of the major meter suppliers fell out of favor in Wyoming at the time that this went out for bid. We thought we might have gotten one from them, and then they switched their line. One of the major suppliers out of Casper that supplies everybody with water products. So they went from a Census product to a Neptune product. So we didn't see either one of them, get bid on this project. And so what we do is go back and look at other similar projects. So I can tell you that Riverton's meter replacement project that they bid about a year and a half ago was over 4 million for replacing the meters and installing them within Riverton. So this is under half that when you're looking at it, household wise, they've got more houses than we do. But we're looking at that and trying to, justify where we're at.
So you can talk to neighbors and
look at other bid prices. And Buffalo got this same Metron Farner meter set, and our price is very similar. We're also getting some additional information. So do you remember the lead copper requirements that we have to do where we're going into each household? So we wrote it in the specifications to write down the lead copper results, take a picture of every service, identify that. They're also bringing it into our billing software. So our city hall staff doesn't have to call and make these appointments and then transfer over to everything into Cassell. So we asked for a little bit more within that project to make sure that we get it done correctly. But we feel like it's in line.
You feel this is good?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? On call for the question then, Councilman Larson.
Yes.
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 Yeah, yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes. All right, moving on to item H. Authorize mayor to sign license agreement for the Wyoming Department of Health, DBA Wyoming Life Resource Center to build security fence in the Meadowview Drive right away. Get a motion in a second. It's at the state school.
So moved.
I get a second. I get a second, Dan. Second. A motion by Councilman Larson, second by Councilwoman Stubble. Questions? Go ahead.
So this is just it's up at the Life Resource Center and it's basically a security fence around the
Right.
premises type deal. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Call for the question, Councilman Jehan.
Yes.
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 Yes. Since there's no other matters brought before the council, we'll adjourn this meeting. Adjourn.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too.